We were really afraid.
At 107 years old, Juanita Mitchell has no trouble remembering how Chicago erupted into violence.
And we hid behind the piano in my aunt's house.
Mitchell was just 7 years old in July of 1919 during the Red Summer a century ago. She just had moved to Chicago with her mother and sister and was staying on the South Side with her Uncle Cecil when the unrest began.
I could hear my uncle saying, "Here they come." And when he said, "Here they come," it meant the white folks were coming.
What happened on the day was one of the darkest moments in Chicago's history. Back then, 31st Street Beach was segregated. The violence began after a 17-year-old black teen by the name of Eugene Williams floated beyond an imaginary boundary in the water. He drowned after white beachgoers threw rocks at him. During the riots, white mobs went to Chicago's South Side, beating blacks and burning their homes. A total of 38 people were killed, 23 blacks and 15 whites. Hundreds more were left injured or homeless.
You had a working class tension that was boiling up.
To mark the 100th anniversary of the riots, the Newberry Library and several other organizations are sponsoring a year-long series of programs about the historic event.
So the events of 1919 helped set in motion the segregated boundaries and divides that we still see today in Chicago.
Historian Timmy O'Black says the riots came as blacks flocked to the north to escape Jim Crow for a better life and helped establish a thriving African-American culture.
So the riot was a stimulation as well as an example.
And while Juanita Mitchell says the Red Summer is a chapter in Chicago's history most don't know about, the only way to move beyond the city's past is to understand it.
I'll never forget it.
Hey everybody, welcome to the 1804 Show, Chapter 2. I'm your host, Dollar Will, and this is another episode of 1804 History. Hit like, comment, subscribe. Now let's begin. So I wanted to talk about this because everybody always down in Chicago, right? But they fail to realize that Chicago had one of the biggest all-black communities in the country, and how a whole lot of people from the Great Migration came and started a new life, escaping racism, escaping Jim Crow, but yet was still going through Jim Crow laws in the North. So all it started over a black teenager at a beach on 31st, just women having a good time. It's summertime, and this day on July 27, 1919, his name was Eugene Williams, and he was floating on the black side. Then his raft ended up crossing the line, and a white man threw rocks at his raft, and he fell in the water and drowned. So the two black men who saw this ran to a white police officer and told him what happened. It was like, hey, you need to do something. You need to arrest that man. And he does nothing. So everyone gets mad. Everyone is pissed off. So just so happened, another black man shoots up in the air and ended up killing a white officer. So a whole bunch of whites found out this black kid shoots into the air, killing the officer, and they began to go into these black neighborhoods and destroy it. And these wasn't just white men. It was Irish, it was Scottish, it was Italians, it was a whole bunch of immigrants that felt the need to take their neighborhood back in a matter of their own hands. But yeah, ask yourself, if they would have just let black folks do what they do, then Chicago wouldn't be what it is today. Gangs, killings, violence, but they make it seem like we ain't never done anything. But yet, they always was jealous of us. They always felt the need to take away what we worked for and that we built. So I'm here to kill that narrative by starting this part 5 series of Red Summer. And I hope you all enjoy, because we need to kill this narrative that we're lazy, we don't do anything. But yet, every time when we have something for ourselves, you guys just couldn't help yourselves but to destroy it. This is in their nature. They hate black excellence. And we have to remember our history. We have to remember the past, because if we don't, they'll keep on trying to kill this narrative or lie and make it seem like, oh, it wasn't so bad for you guys, but it was. But yeah, I'm out, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.